girls. Welcome to tonight's virtual open evening here at West Lakes Academy. This is obviously a very strange experience for me, and I'm sure it's quite a strange experience for you. You're sat at home watching a video about West Lakes Academy on your PC, laptop, or your iPad, whereas normally I'd have around me my head boy and my head girl and my deputy head boy and deputy head girl, and I'd have my senior team with me, making sure that I do the right thing, and we'd all be sat I'd be stood in our amazing performance hall, having had a good look round at all our amazing facilities, and you'd had a chance to talk to our staff and the students about what life is like at West Lakes Academy. So I'm sure these kind of days will return in the future for us at West Lakes Academy. It's just for now and just for this year, we're going to have to do things a little bit differently. So welcome to tonight's virtual open evening here at West Lakes Academy. Last year, I remember very well standing here, standing in the performance hall, and talking to over 600 families, and I managed to get round the academy and see everything that was going on. But right now, it's Wednesday afternoon, and I'm sat in my office recording a video that you're going to watch tomorrow. So as I said, very, very different times indeed. So what I'm going to talk to you today about is West Lakes Academy, a school I hope many of you will want to join in September, and that your child will be as happy here for their 7 years as I've been for my just over 6 years now. But by the time your son or daughter gets here, it'll be 7 years. Now, I have no doubts that you'll have watched a number of virtual open evenings so far, or you'll be planning to visit a number of virtual open evenings as they come up. And I appreciate that it's a huge decision deciding which secondary school you want your child to go to. I was in this very situation myself 3 years ago with my youngest son, Edward, and I also know and believe that education is the most important thing that can be brought into someone's life. I had a slight twisty-turny route into becoming a teacher. I had a number of jobs before I settled on teaching, but I'm a firm believer that it was a solid education that helped me navigate through all those twists and turns to finally land on the job that I'm in today, and one that I really love and enjoy. And I'm also a firm believer that education can open so many doors for so many of us, and we've got an amazing doorway here at West Lakes Academy for you to come through, which will open things up to you for your future. So the choice of secondary school has to be about the feel that you genuinely have for that school and the belief that it is genuinely the right place for your child. So that's the purpose for me tonight, and that is what is even harder when you're doing this virtually, because when you're not actually here in the building with me, it's very, very easy for you to get a sense of what we're about. But I do hope you'll get a sense from what I'm saying and from what the other videos show of what type of school we are and the kind of things we do. But I do want you to be 100% sure that this is the very, very best fit for you and your child, and that after watching this video and all the other videos that we'll be putting up, this is the right school for you to apply to. So firstly, I'm very, very proud to lead this incredible community of learners, and that's one of the key things for me here at the Academy. We're all learners, students and staff, and we all buy into the way things are done, and we call it the WLA way. Now I've worked in a number of schools, but I've never worked in one where everyone just gets it, gets the way that we work, gets the WLA way, and this creates a fantastic sense of community, and we care about the students and the adults within that community. And I'm a firm believer that when young people feel settled, safe, supported, and the people that do look after them care and are generally bothered about them, that's when they can excel the most. Now, I'm sure you've seen that in 2018 we were awarded our Ofsted Outstanding graded, and our exam results are consistently extremely high. Our A-level results, for example, are in the top 25% of grades nationally, and our GCSE results are in what the DFE describe as above average or well above average, but they're always incredibly strong. We get this by having incredibly high standards and expectations of the whole community. So that's students, that's parents, and that's governors. Because I believe that if we don't have those incredibly high standards, we're doing the young person a disservice. And every young person has the right to achieve and exceed their potential. We have a strapline here, Changing Lives Through Learning. If you join us, you'll hear us talk about it a lot, because that's what we do, and we do it through having high standards and high expectations. And if we don't have these high standards and and expectations from the moment the young people walk through our doors, we're letting them down, and we're letting you and we're letting the community down, and we're actually letting ourselves down as professionals also. So what might you see of the key things about how we'd show that we've got these high expectations in the academy? Well, you'd see them visually when you walk around. You'd see what an amazing building we've got. It cost £26 million when it was built 8 years ago, and it certainly doesn't feel like it's an 8-year-old academy. It's incredibly well looked after because the students are really grateful and proud that they get to learn in this amazing environment. You'll see pride and high standards in the uniform, which is incredibly smart, and it's very important to me that that uniform is worn with pride. Pride at being Westlakes Academy, and proud at what you can achieve as a part of this community. Now, I used to play rugby for some 26 years, so sports leadership and culture absolutely fascinates me. And I like to use the analogy of the academy uniform with that of the All Blacks strip. They have a huge amount of pride when they pull on that black shirt and kit, and they perform better. They believe that they're training for second best because they want to be the best, and that's how I want students to feel about their uniform, to wear it with pride. You won't see phones when you're wandering out around and about the academy, and that's because we operate an incredibly successful iPad scheme. That's a 5-year contribution scheme to ensure that students have 24/7 access to high quality teaching and learning resources. You'd also see it in our very, very strong behaviour code, and again, this is just a part of the WLA way that people buy into. It isn't a huge long list of do's and don'ts. It just about boils down to doing things as you're asked to do and being kind and respectful to each other. And really, that's not a bad basis to prepare young people for adult life as they progress on for us. Now, we're also incredibly lucky and proud of our staff at Westlakes Academy. All our teachers are specialists in their subjects, and they're passionate about those subjects, and that means the students get the absolute best experience from those teachers when they're in front of them. They work incredibly hard, and the students work incredibly hard. We teach for 27.5 hours a week. Now, most schools will teach for 25 hours a week. So if you average that over a year, students at Westlakes Academy have the equivalent of extra 19 days in education. So that's nearly an extra month of school from that extra 2.5 hours of education that they get a week. And it's great as well because they're always extremely tired at the end of the week. But another part of this, and part of our reason that our teachers can really go the extra mile and be passionate about that subject that they teach, is because we have disruption-free classrooms, and I'm passionate about this. No child should have their education disrupted by someone who can't meet the high expectations we have. And if someone can't meet those high expectations and those high standards, we absolutely will try and help them get there, but we won't change our standards. They work. We've proved that with our results, and we're not going to move from those high expectations and standards. And we also have an amazing pastoral team made up of the vice principals, the heads of year, the inclusion staff, the tutors, the school nurse, and we've even now got a therapy dog called Aero who comes and visits us occasionally, which has been organised by Miss Dunn, who's the head of year 7. And he was introduced into the academy last year. And it's this care, along with the high standards and expectations that form strong boundaries and relationships, that helps students feel safe and secure so they can thrive at the academy. So we've got high quality students, we've got a high quality uniform, we've got high quality teachers and high quality pastoral care, and we've also got extremely high quality resources. I've mentioned our iPad scheme already. Our art department is kitted out with all the new iMacs and MacBooks. We've got amazing sports facilities, which are going to be even better when the floods defence work is finished in May, so we'll have some fantastic pitches. We've even got a climbing wall. I've mentioned our iPad scheme. We've got a fantastic library because we believe that reading is really important. And all of this supports that high quality learning that I've already mentioned that's delivered every day. And like I said, we know it works. It's been proved with our results and our Ofsted ratings. Our GCSE and A-level results are way above averages, and this year's results would have been, I've got no doubt, the best that the Academy had ever seen. As an example, this year we've got students who have left the sixth form and are going off to study at both Oxford and Cambridge. It's the first time we've had people attend both those universities. And all of this proves that the way that we do things and the way that we work with our young people and our parents is very, very successful. We also do a lot of sport and other extracurricular activities, and we're highly praised for our work in careers, education and guidance, and all this leads to the ability, as I've mentioned before to our strapline, to change lives through learning. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go through the presentation that you can see in front of us. So we've already mentioned about providing the best possible education for young people, and this is an example of our curriculum. So you can see there we offer a very broad and balanced curriculum, but you can see the focus we place on the core of the subject, and there's a list of all the other subjects that each student studies. 30 lessons per week, 55 minutes a lesson, adding up to 27 and a half hours of a taught curriculum, and on top of that there's also 40 minutes of pastoral care every single day. And there's an example of the school day. It's not quite the school day that we're running at the minute, but once the COVID-19 thing has worked its way through and we're back to normal, you can see that's how the school day runs. So it's 2 lessons and a break, 2 lessons then lunch, then assembly, 2 more lessons then the end of school day, and homework club or extracurricular activities. I've mentioned our modern £26 million building with the outstanding resources. And there's a picture of the IT and the Apple Map facilities that I mentioned earlier that's used so well in our performing arts area. And this is a photo of the engineering facilities that we've got, and they have all the latest CAD/CAM machines, all the 3D printing facilities, and we're really, really grateful that all students get access to those facilities. We've got excellent levels of academic achievement. We've got an affordable iPad scheme, a little bit more about that. You'd get more details in the June before you join us at the Academy, but it's an affordable monthly payment that ensures you have an up-to-date, insured, fully functioning iPad for the 5 years that you're an Academy, with a refresh about halfway through. And we think this has been a real big hit in terms of improving our performance, and they've really, really shown their worth during the recent lockdown as we were able to continue learning to a really high standard using those iPads. We have great attendance rates. This is important because if students didn't enjoy the school and they weren't happy here, they wouldn't attend. So you can see it's above the national average and it's continuing to grow. We can't publish the attendance figures for last year because we weren't in school for nearly half of it, but that's a really, really strong attendance figure. We're very lucky to have a sixth form centre, and I really would encourage you to think about this as a 7-year journey for your son or daughter, that they'd spend their first 5 years working towards the GCSEs, and then the next 2 years studying towards A-levels or BTECs. And our sixth form centre is getting bigger than ever, and we offer all the traditional A-levels and BTECs. We have specialisms in the science and arts. We've got some great science labs, excuse me, and our arts facilities is something we're incredibly proud of. So proud of, in fact, and it's so important that we feel that every student should take a GCSE options in the arts when they come to make that decision at the end of year 8. So that's either art or photography or music or drama. And again, they are very, very successful subjects, but it's something we believe passionately in, that for a broad and balanced curriculum, students should have full access to the arts. Just a little bit more about our specialist status in science and the arts. It's supported by our sponsors, the NDA and Sellafield Limited, and we deliver our specialism in our Performing and Expressive Arts Centre, where pupils are encouraged to express themselves in a variety of ways through that GCSE options choice, but they have a full access to it when they join us from year 7. We've got a caring ethos. I talked about the pastoral team earlier. It's headed up by Miss Relf. She's our Vice Principal in charge of Personal Development, Behaviour and Welfare. The Head of Year and Head of Transition is Miss Dunn, and they're supported by Miss Devine, who's the Attendance and Welfare Officer, and then there's the form tutors as well. That's their day-to-day contact for their pastoral needs. And we've got a great selection of extracurricular activities, from dance to performing arts to rugby to athletics to football to cricket. as well as the homework club, which is popular. We believe that all of these things add in to producing that well-rounded child ready to take their place in society when they leave us. We also offer residential trips when they come back online, and we've got the national competitions such as Rock Challenge or Big Dance as it's now called, which over 100 of the children take part in. When it last ran, we were the Northern champions, and I do feel if the national competition had run, we would have been the national champions for Rock Challenge. It's incredibly popular and we're incredibly successful at it. We have a great smooth transition programme from primary to secondary school. We do a number of things. We ensure curriculum continuity and progression by working with the feeder schools. We have regular meetings and enhanced transition programmes to alleviate parents and students' anxieties about that change and transition. We want to provide stability for the students so they can see that what they're learning in Year 6 is continued into Year 7 and Year 8. And we want to have a whole set of joint activities for the primary pupils. Obviously we lost those last year, but they're something we really hope we can bring back next year to the Year 6. And all of this then ensures that attendance is high for the students in Year 7 when they do come and join us. And here's just some examples of what we'll do over the summer term that if you decide to join us, to make sure that the transition to West Lakes Academy is successful as possible. Now, we were able to have a virtual taster day this year, and we were also in the end able to offer a summer school that was spread over 2 weeks, and it gave 75% of the students during the summer holidays a chance to experience 5 days within the academy, and that's something we'll be repeating next summer. This is just some parental feedback when we conducted our last survey. You can see how parents feel about the academy, how well they feel they're cared for, and that we achieve those standards that we want them to do. So this is a very, very exciting time for the Academy and the Trust as a whole as we can continue to grow and more schools join us on our journey. Alongside this, we were recently awarded research school status with another secondary school, so that means everything that we do and learn about is evidence informed. So it's a really exciting future for the Academy and a really exciting time for those Year 6s who hopefully are going to join us. Now, I hope you found this short presentation useful and that it gives you a useful insight into the Academy, and I hope that you'll be joining us in September. As a reminder, the deadline for the forms is to the County Council by the 31st of October, and I hope you enjoy the other videos that we've produced ready for tonight.